Today I'm going to show you how I made this wagon wheel table here. It's a little bit of epoxy on top, and I started out by just laminating some 2x8s together. I think it was 5 of them, and then I used this circle jig that I had for my router. Kind of had to redesign it a little bit. I ended up breaking my Ryobi. That's kind of what I'm pointing to there on the wall. Is the poor little thing. It just couldn't handle it, I guess, and the shaft inside broke. And I looked it up. It seems to be kind of a common problem with those Ryobi handheld ones. So I had to get out the old Craftsman and fix the switch on it and got it working, and then just use this as a pivot point to cut out my 36-inch circle. And then I also used it to cut the inner circle. I can't remember if it was like 5 inches or something for that. And then that's where I got to here and started with the grooves for each of the spokes. I think I used 3/8 rods, so this was like a 3/8 cove bit, and you don't want to go too deep so that they stay protruded above the boards. If you get too deep, then you'll see that in the end, how I didn't really like the outcome. I should have stopped with the epoxy sooner. Anyway, I just made 2 clamps the same distance as the plate of my router, and then lined them up parallel and went all the way across for each of the spokes. Just kind of made the star pattern there. And then we'll pick up there with the rest. I decided I'd start videoing it and kind of showing you how I made the rest of the table. So I need to flatten the underside of this so that, because I want to use 1.5 inch flat bar for the ring. 2 inch just looks too fat. It just aesthetics thing. The way I want to do it, I think 1.5 is going to be perfect. So I need to take a little bit of this off because these protrude up 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. I don't know, a little bit. Wasn't exactly what I was going for, but if you go too deep, then you can start going around. So you got to kind of go half of the size. So that's 1/4 inch deep, just a little bit over. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So you can either buy a router sled, make a fancy one, put in a bunch of whatever, I don't know. I had this from, I forgot what I put these 2 pieces together for. I was making something. Oh, yeah, my camper door. I'll have to show you all that. Anyway, I had this extra, already laminated together. So I just cut off a couple, I don't know how much that is. Cut off a few inches of that. And made it this. I had some of this angle iron that already had some holes in it. I don't know what it's from. And then I had this one that I drilled some holes in. I wish my punch worked. Anyway, so just set that up right here, and then I'll put my groove in there. And then I don't know what I'll use for rails. You could use pipes, you could use PVC pieces. I may just use these 2 48-inch levels. All it's got to do is sit above your thing, right? And then slide this back and forth on it. So that's all you need. And we're gonna see how it works. Just need to add some stops on the end. Could just have used longer screws here and that would have worked just fine. Oh well, I'll put something there. Well, I think it's gonna work. So I just used these 2 pieces, 1 by on each side to kind of hold it in place. The first pass I did, it wanted to kind of roll since it's round. And then also in the grooves that I made for the spokes, I put 1 screw right there, and then I put 1 in center on an opposite side so that it'll keep it from rotating if it does. But it seems to work pretty good. I don't know how flat this is, but you know, as long as it gets off a little bit of, you know, I really only need to take about 1/8 off, but we're gonna take off whatever I got it set at here and call it good. Got a little bit of grooves. This is just a regular old bit I have. I ordered one of those 2-inch planing bits. Should be here tomorrow, but that would be good enough for sanding, and it's going to get off just enough of that I need. These were 2 bed rails I had, and then you saw me make some of that. Very simple jig here. For me, this works just fine. May not be as fancy enough for all of y'all, but you know, right there, little sander will get rid of that, or maybe even a better bit. You know, this is some Craftsman bit I bought when Sears was still in the malls over at the other house. So it's 25 years old, been thrown in my box, and it's the only thing I found that would actually work, so I could try this out. Tomorrow when the other bit comes in, I may go over it one more time and just take a little bit more off just to see how that goes. I really would like to get to this. Right here you can see where I messed up on the circle jig the first time. I don't have a plunge router, so I kind of drilled a hole and tried to guess, and then I switched out, and the bit that I have that goes deep enough to cut all the way through was a little bit thinner, skinnier than the one I started with. So anyway, but it was on the bottom, so I started from the bottom and it worked just fine. Yep, there it is. A little bit of sanding, and dang, I almost want to use that as the top, but it's going to be the bottom because I have to have my wheel grooves in there for the metal. Always that rustic look, so this would be perfect for that. All right, so for the wheel portion, the rim, I was going to originally just go above this, but since there's less wood there, I'm going to move over about 1.5 inches and start. So my first hole will be there, then my last hole will be right here. So I'm still doing 2, about halfway. So what would be 1, 2, 3 on each spoke, because I think 16 holes will hold the metal flat and round. Anyway, so I just measured it out, and it should be, you know, I used a paper measure, and it's 13 and something, so it comes out to be 6 7/8 inches up halfway. So I just made me a block, cut that to 6 7/8, and then that's how I'm going to mark my metal where I need to punch the holes, because I want, you know, basically I want a hole here, a hole halfway, and then another hole here, but I want to shift it around so it's not right above the spoke. And this is what I'm talking about. I just cut me a block. I started 1.5 inches from the end because I don't want to be right on the end, because that's where the weld's going to be to connect it. And then I'll just move the thing around to 1.5. So then I just got my block, and I put my line. That way I don't have to do any math in my head. Just do it once. And that'll give me all my 16 holes that I need, or should theoretically do it right. That last one plus this 1.5 inches should be approximately 6 7/8 if I did it right. Well, this thing is $100, but well, you got to buy the pump. So if you don't have a pump, you got to buy the pump or get it from Harbor Freight. But anyway, sure beats drilling all the holes. It'd be nice. This is pretty cool. It's got a little dimple. You just line that up with your dimple you made from your little punch tool, and you're good to go. Okay, all my holes are done. Gotta love that. Okay, so this is what I came up with to make my inner circle, because that'll be the hard one. The outside's fine. I can just put my screws in and bend it around and screw it down as it goes.
So I've already painted that piece and cut it down. I cut it a little long, so I'll probably have to repaint and touch up the end, but that's fine. So when I get down to the end, I can just chop it off with a grinder and screw down the last screw. So, but the inside, I wasn't sure how I was gonna do that and get it bent. But luckily I save everything. So we have 2 of these. This is the one, but I'll show you in a second. From the 4L60E, I guess. And it just happens to be just the right size. A little bit of play, but it's 1/8 inch metal. So I want to cut it a little short anyway, because that would be almost 1/4 of an inch there. So I'm just guessed. If it doesn't meet exactly right, it is a table, and I'm going to put epoxy on it. So if it's a little bit small, that'll be fine. But that'll be good. So in order to bend the circle, here's my idea. Got a little bit of a gap there, maybe a little much, but that's because it probably won't fit in there right. Not gonna seal this right now, and that way it has some play when I try to put it in the hole. So got it clamped down. I'm just gonna heat it up and then let it cool down. And hopefully it'll hold its shape and not bounce back, and we'll be good to go. Don't know if it'll work or not, but at least I got the shape and it's round, and then I can, you know, force it in the hole and go around, and should act kind of like a spring and then just fit in there, which is really what I kind of am hoping that it'll do, and I measured right, so that'll make it a lot easier. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool down and I'll try it out. All right, so I got it almost perfect size. I chopped off a little bit more. I had it a little too long, and then I decided I'd just do it like this. That's just put in there by hand, and I think a couple taps and it'll go down. I painted it first because I do want it to be black in there, so I'm hoping it doesn't exactly. So I've got this raised up 1/4 inch. I've got some spacers underneath there and clamped down 1/4 inch. So that'll be a lip on the bottom. And then this should cover my metal. And that's gonna be hopefully epoxy almost to the top of that. So that's my idea anyway. Okay, so I'm making some progress on this. Yesterday I had my wife come out here and she helped bend this around while I screwed in these screws to, we just used those Spax structural screws. They hold pretty good. It was really nice, came together good. The first one was the hardest one, of course, wherever the gap is. I don't remember. Anyway, getting that first one set was the hardest one, and then bending it around after that was pretty easy. I would just push right here and bend it down till it's next to the next bolt, and then have my wife stand there and kind of hold pressure on it, and then this would suck it in pretty close. This is the bottom after I did my little router sled I made and got it all smoothed and everything, because I want to make sure that no epoxy leaks from the top. So not quite done yet, and I'm not going to mount this just yet. I am going to come around and put some, I'm going to go and I'm going to stain this next after I get this this board put on. But this is how I decided to mount it. I made 2 of these runners here, or whatever you call them, to mount to the stand, because I want some gap for the bucket to sit. I don't want it just sitting on top of the table. We want it to sit down in the table a little bit. I'm also going to put a 2x4 here, right here, to give it, and I'll just use some regular old, I'm not going to use these big, on this one I'm going to use these same screws. They're 2.5 inch Spax, lag, whatever, so that'll be the main portion to hold the table down. And then I'll just put some like number 10 or whatever Spax I got, some little 2 inchers or something right here in these 3 spots to give it just some additional support. But I'm gonna cut those next, and then I'll take this back off and kind of just lightly stain the bottom. I'm not gonna do too much on it, but I'm gonna stain it. And then we'll put a little layer of epoxy on the bottom just because it is gonna be an outdoor table. And then I'll flip it over and work on the top. I guess I should add that I used my little laser to kind of line this up and stuff. I did pretty well on my measurements here. I got it. And then I just used this laser, lined everything up on the center here so that it was centered on that hole and centered on my line down there I have. I don't know if you can see that or not. So once I got that on there, got it all centered up on this side and flush on each side because that's how I measured it. I put it right here to see where the inside of that board's gonna be, and that's great because now I have clearance here. I was gonna butt it up right against because you know the bucket can't go any deeper than my metal ring. So, but that actually works out pretty well right there to have it, and that should be just perfect. So I'm gonna cut me a 2x4 to go right along there, and one on this side, and then I should have my frame done and coming together.
Right here, I'm just finishing up a little quick template for making radiuses on boards. You put 2 little stops on there, and that way you can just quickly draw a radius, and it's consistent on all 4 for everything that you do. So like here, I'm making 4 bar stools, so I had 16 of these little radiuses to draw, and I wanted them to be all consistent. I have to apologize. I'm making this a few years. It was almost 2 years ago for the fall festival, so I must have deleted some video to save space or whatever because I just don't have anything of the ending here. You kind of see some pictures here of the progress of the frame and the feet, and then the top after I stained the bottom. And like I said, to give it some color, and then a little bit of epoxy to keep it sealed on there. This is where I was talking about earlier. I wished I would have stopped at this step here. It looks 10 times better with this just a little bit of epoxy. When you put that final coat epoxy, it covers the top completely and all the bars. You lose that depth, I guess, kind of refraction and all that. You didn't even need the metal bars. I told my wife I could have just painted black on those grooves and it probably would have looked exactly the same as this. So again, I wished I would have stopped at that one step right here where this picture is. Still nice in person. It does glare, and it did go for $1,200 at the auction. So somebody liked it, but I think it probably would have went more if I would have left it with just that one thin layer of epoxy and kind of divided tables there. But I wanted it to be smooth, so put your coffee cup or your beer can or whatever down. You didn't hit the bars and tip something over. So if I was to do it again, I would just go to the top edge of the bar for the spokes. I think then it would have still kept that depth and looked 3D-ish, what I really was going for. So anyway, as always, get outside, do something. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.